The psychology of a man in love, what he feels but rarely says. Have you ever noticed that some men seem emotionally distant, yet their actions quietly reveal something much deeper? Many women expect love to be obvious. They imagine that when a man falls in love, he'll constantly express his feelings, send romantic messages, and openly talk about his emotions. But psychology paints a very different picture. For many men, love isn't expressed through words first. It's expressed through behavior, attention, protection, consistency, and silent emotional investment. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes people make is judging a man's feelings only by what he says. Today, we're going to explore what actually happens inside a man's mind when he truly falls in love, why his behavior changes, and how understanding his psychology can completely change the way you interpret his actions. Let's begin. His brain begins to prioritize you. The human brain constantly decides what deserves attention. Thousands of thoughts pass through our minds every single day, yet only a small number become important enough to remember. When a man develops deep feelings, something interesting happens. Without realizing it, his brain starts treating you as a priority. He remembers things you mentioned weeks ago. He notices changes in your mood before other people do. He remembers your favorite food, the name of your childhood friend, or that important meeting you were nervous about. This isn't because he's trying to impress you. It's because emotional attachment changes what the brain considers important. Psychologists often explain that attention follows emotional value. The more emotionally valuable someone becomes, the more naturally we notice and remember details about them. That's why a man who truly cares rarely forgets the little things. He starts imagining a future without even noticing. One of the clearest psychological signs of love isn't saying, "I love you." It's saying, "we." Listen carefully to the language he uses. Instead of talking only about his own plans, he naturally begins including you. "We should visit Italy someday. We'll figure it out. I think you'd love this place." These small changes reveal something happening deep inside his subconscious. His brain is slowly rewriting his future. You're no longer just part of his present. You've become part of the picture he imagines for tomorrow. And the fascinating part, most men don't even realize they're doing it. His protective instincts become stronger. Protection isn't always dramatic. Movies often show a man fighting for the woman he loves. Real life looks much quieter. He checks if you got home safely. He walks on the side closest to traffic. He notices when you're uncomfortable around someone. He pays attention to things that could make your day easier. Psychologically, this happens because the brain begins linking your well-being with his own emotional comfort. When you're safe, he feels calm. When you're stressed, he often feels unsettled too. This is emotional bonding in action. He becomes more vulnerable than he appears. Many people believe men hide emotions because they don't care. In reality, it's often the opposite. The more important someone becomes, the more vulnerable a man feels. Why? Because love creates something he can lose. That possibility activates fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of disappointment. Fear of not being enough. That's why some men become quieter after falling deeply in love. Not because their feelings disappeared, but because those feelings became much more serious. Psychologists call this emotional vulnerability. The stronger the emotional investment, the greater the emotional risk. He tries to solve problems instead of simply listening. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings between men and women. Imagine you tell him about a stressful day. You may simply want empathy. He immediately starts offering solutions. At first, this can feel frustrating. But psychologically, many men associate love with responsibility. When someone they love is hurting, their brain searches for ways to remove the problem. To him, solving your problem feels like showing love. Understanding this difference can prevent many unnecessary arguments. He feels proud when he makes you happy. Love isn't only about receiving affection. It's also about contribution. Many men experience genuine satisfaction when they know they've improved your day. Maybe it's making you laugh, helping you achieve something, watching your face light up because of a small surprise. Neuroscience suggests that acts of giving and caring activate the brain's reward system. In other words, making someone you love happy often makes you happy too. He begins to trust you with parts of himself that others never see. Many men spend years wearing emotional armor. They appear confident, strong, independent. But love slowly lowers those walls. He starts telling you about childhood memories, his fears, his failures, his dreams, his insecurities. This level of openness doesn't happen overnight. It happens when he feels emotionally safe. And emotional safety is one of the strongest foundations of lasting love. Consistency becomes more important than romance. Grand gestures are exciting, flowers, expensive dinners, romantic vacations. But psychology shows that long-term love is built on something much simpler. Consistency, checking on you, keeping promises, showing up when life isn't exciting, being reliable during ordinary days. Anyone can create magical moments. Very few people consistently create emotional security, and that's often what separates genuine love from temporary attraction. Final thoughts. If you truly want to understand whether a man is in love, don't focus only on romantic words. Observe the patterns. Notice where his attention goes. Watch how he treats you during difficult moments. Pay attention to the way he includes you in his future. Real love rarely announces itself loudly. Instead, it quietly appears in hundreds of small behaviors that become impossible to fake over time. So here's a question for you. Which psychological sign do you think reveals love more clearly than the words, I love you? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy psychology-based relationship content, subscribe for more videos every week.